enter equation in the y editor is step 1. Okay, so when you go to your y editor, green diamond F1, enter your equation. Make sure you enter it exactly as it appears. I would definitely double check. And the easiest form to double check is when it displays. So after you hit enter, come back and double check. Is your A, B, and C values exactly what you expect them to be? Our A is -1, check. Our B is +10, check. Our C is -9, check. Okay, so enter that equation carefully. And next, what I would then do is answer the behavior question. Okay, because you should be able to answer the behavior question without referring to your calculator. Okay, is this graph going to open up or down? It's going to open down. It's a negative leading coefficient. So you know your graph's going to open down. The reason I would do this before this third step, which is view your graph, is because now you have some expectations about your graph. Right? You know your graph needs to open down. If you wanted, you could also answer this question here, because the y-intercept is always going to be the form 0, some number, and that number is going to be the constant. Okay, so you could also answer this question. Okay, so your y-intercept is 0, -9. Your graph should open down. Okay, by knowing these in advance, when you now view the graph, which is green diamond F3, okay, you have some expectation about what this graph should look like. If it doesn't look like what you are expecting, then you need to double check how you entered the information. And now, does it look like our y-intercept is -9? Yeah, that's consistent. Can we see our vertex though? No, so I want to adjust my viewing window. Again, if you need to adjust the viewing window. The viewing window is located here, green diamond, F2. Oops. And what I needed to do is I needed to stretch it up. I need to view higher in the y's. So if I go down to my y max, everything else was okay. Let's change that to 20, 30, whatever you think you might need. And then go back and view the graph again. We can now see, bless you. Now we see our vertex. Again, you don't specifically have to see it, but it's helpful to see what your graph is going to look like. Right, how can we find our vertex now? Is the vertex going to be a maximum or minimum value? Since it opens down, this point will be the highest, which is a max. Okay, so let's find that vertex in our calculator, again under the step 4 here. Would be find the vertex. And you can find this by using the max or min value in the F5 Math tab. So we're going to go to our maximum, which is number 4. And just choose your lower and upper bounds. Again, make sure they're to the right and left, or in this case to the left and then the right of the vertex. So I'm just going to use -10 for my lower, +10 for my upper. Again, you could have chosen other numbers, but you get 516 as your vertex. Okay, so once you have your vertex, your line of symmetry can be answered extremely quickly as well, because finding the line of symmetry is simply saying x is equal to, and then write in the x coordinate of the vertex, what you just found in the previous step. So here we always begin with the form x equals, and then we just put in whatever number this is, in this case 5. It's at this time that I would start to sketch the graph. Because you can now plug in the following points. You have your vertex. So here's the point 5, 16. Notice again, I labeled it above because I know it's going to open down. It just reinforces that that's the case. I can also label my y-intercept. Right here. And if I connect these, okay, I have one side of my graph. The line of symmetry can help because I know that this graph is going to be symmetric across the line of symmetry. Okay, and I'm going to label that x equals 5. And what this allows me to do then is to see if you just try to mirror your graph on the other side of that line of symmetry, you at least get a relatively accurate sketch of what's going to happen. All right, there's 2 more things that you need to do to complete this. The first is to find your x-intercepts. Well, I can already see again, according to my sketch, it should be somewhere around 1, and then somewhere out here, which would be, again, kind of around 9 or so. Okay, that's my expectation. If you anticipate what it might be, you can then come in and find it. We have 2 ways of finding the x-intercept. Okay, first of all, are we expecting 1, 0, or 2 x-intercepts? You can see them. There are 2 of them. Okay, so you should get 2 answers here. Okay, you can either use your graph. If you're using your graph, again, what you're finding is under F5, you're finding the zeros. Choose a lower bound. So again, we're going to find this one first, right here. If we're finding that one, we know a point to the left of that is -10 for sure. And a point to the right of this, just use the x-coordinate of your vertex. So 5. So the point where this graph crosses the x-axis to the left of our vertex is the point 1, 0. Was that within the range of what we were expecting? Yes? Okay, and then our other one, again, go back to find your zeros, math tab number 2. The lower bound, again, choose the vertex now as your lower bound, and then +10 as your upper bound, or again, whatever your window settings are, and you see it's 9, 0. Once again, exactly where I expected from the sketch. So it's very consistent with what we were looking at. The alternate to this is we could have gone back to our home screen, used the solve key, type in our equation exactly as it appears, so -x² plus 10x minus 9. We have to set it equal to 0. Again, the x-intercepts, if you look here, these are the 2 points where our y values are 0. So we're going to set our equation equal to 0, place a 0 for y, solve for x, and we should get our 2 answers, 1 and 9. Just put the y-coordinate of 0 to find your ordered pair for those. And so if we're, again, returning to the graphical view of this, we want to locate one other point. Again, it doesn't matter where this other point is. Let's label this y-intercept as well. And so if we pick any other point, let's say we pick the point 7. Okay, all we need to do under our final step here is find the other point and go to value under the math tab F5, and then just pick a number. Again, I chose 7. You could pick whatever you want. 7 fits within the viewing window, and it's an integer value, and it corresponds to 12. Again, is that consistent with what we were expecting in our sketch? Yes. And so now you can label that as your final. So let me fix this. And so that is the complete problem.